Speaking of Tinder, I'm banned from Tinder. That's,
Are you? What did you do?
I mean, okay, so
You
one time
sent
I
a
put
dick pic.
quick, no, that's not how she runs, especially on Tinder. I don't think you can send photos on Tinder. Second of all, it was a quick little, what would happen if I put my Venmo handle in my bio and say, send me $1, your chances will go higher. Tinder thought that was not,
Solicitation.
it was other things. Someone actually sent me $1 and said that was the best bio I've seen in quite a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, I got $1 out of it, and now I'm lifetime banned.
You.
I've asked for them to be unban my profile and everything else. No, not gonna happen. But
Wow. A high
yeah,
class escort.
it's the Pop Report.
So juicy.
Hey, bitch,
Oh, hey.
girl, you've been through it.
It's been nonstop. And then today I just woke up and I was like, you know what? I am going to just relinquish all to the universe. I'm just going to let live and let God.
Last time I saw Zack, he told me that he was not able to find his Invisalign. He's like, might find it, might not. My orthodontist probably is gonna kill me.
He was so mad at me. So the last time I had the Invisalign was on Saturday, which was the day Andy hosted his game night dinner party. So I was convinced I lost it. I thought I may have lost it at his apartment. And he didn't say anything. So I was like, okay, so
No,
he either found it and threw it away or it wasn't left there. And I was at another birthday party. Like I was all over. I think I was at the hospital that day with my grandpa. I was all over the place. And all I remember is at one point we went to lunch and I took it out and I put it in my pocket, which normally, I know this is terrible and I don't advise this for anybody doing Invisalign. Normally, if I know I'm going to be gone and out for the day, so that I don't lose my Invisalign, I leave it home when I know I'm going
got
to
it.
be gone, I'm going to be out, I'm going to be eating, I'm going to be drinking, and
For
I'll put
for
it
the
back when I get
record,
home.
I have also done Invisalign. I used to wear it only at night. That's different for other people, but like it worked for me. Continue.
Yes. And so I mostly, if I know it's going to be a day where I'm going to be gone, it's mostly at night is when I'll wear it. Because at least I know I'll wear it through for like a 12-hour cycle overnight. But so this was the one time I decided I'm going to bring my Invisalign with me on the go and maybe I'll like pop it in. I'll, whatever. Don't know what happened to it. All I know is I got drunk at Andy's apartment, which was all my own doing.
Yes.
And I was the only one serving myself drinks that night, and I overserved myself. But then I came home that night, and I just remember the next morning being like, "Where's my Invisalign?" And I couldn't
Donde
find it.
está?
I have since cleaned, and I remember texting my dentist and being like, shout out to Dr. Gabe Rosenthal in Encino. I was like, I lost it. And he was like, well, you better find it. And I was like, I'm not going to, I left it at a restaurant. I left it in someone's house. It's in an Uber. I thought it was
It's
gone.
in an
And
Uber.
I thought, so I was like, somebody's going to get into an Uber and they're going to find someone's nasty ass
Oh,
Invisalign.
teeth.
And that's terrible. But so the reason this Invisalign is so important is because I just got scanned for new trays, which won't come in for a few weeks. So this is my last pair of trays for a couple of weeks. And so he was like, no, you need to find it. And I was like, Dr. Gabe, it is gone. They are gone.
She left the building. She left the Uber,
So I had
and
succumbed to it. And this
and
morning I
Zach told
woke
me
up.
he has now found it.
I succumbed to the fact that it was gone. And I woke up this morning. I was like, I already feel my teeth shifting back. This is terrible. Whatever. I taped no filter this morning. And by a sheer act of God, I open the door and I look at the floor and I'm like, what is that? And mind you, the dogs had just chewed up a mat. So there was cotton everywhere. There was just
I'm
like
surprised they didn't chew it
fluff.
up in general, like on the
Yes.
floor.
It
Yeah.
was there was fluff everywhere. And I look down and I see the Invisalign. And I see one of them. And I was like, and I was like, I hope it's the bottom teeth because that's the one I really need. I can survive without the top. And I grab it and I'm like, it's the bottom. And then I look down to the left and then I see the tops. And I was like, what the fuck? It was like
Found the
it
bottom,
came
found the
out of
top.
nowhere, Andy. Yeah, you can't have a bottom without a top.
No, that's
Doesn't work.
you're not. You would
But
just
it
Winnie the Pooh in
came
it if you had the
out
top
of
only.
nowhere. Like I have no idea where it came from at all. Like literally, I got my hair cut in the apartment, so like the apartment was swept of all the hair. Like it was, we'd mopped the floors. Like there was no way the Invisalign was ever just there, and it just happened to be on my kitchen floor today. I don't know
Well,
how it got there.
I feel like that's like your biggest one of the week, and I feel like I don't need to bore everybody else with what's been going on with my life because that's a crisis. That's a national crisis.
Nothing
When you
exciting
lose
has
your
happened.
Invisalign.
We watched the Emmys nominations together.
Oh yeah, we did like a whole. Oh yeah. Other things that's happened in our lives. We were together and went and watched the Emmys. Threads invited us to this nice breakfast. That was exciting. That was fun, and nothing else crazy to report because I feel like you haven't had enough stress just with that Invisalign and other things in your life in general. You taken the throne. You've taken the entirety of this catch up in the first 5 minutes of this podcast. So
Yeah,
kudos to you. Hats off to you. Shall we just get into today's headlines?
let's do it.
All right. Which one do you want to talk about first? First, we have Miss Britney going off on the Osbournes, and then we have Miss Alabama Barker, who's talking about her weight loss and being on weight loss medication. Which one picks your fancy first, Zach?
Let's start with Alabama.
All right. Well, for those of you who don't know, Alabama Barker, who is 18, has been a big topic of discussion because she is now admitted to taking weight loss medication after denying plastic surgery claims. Mind you, she is 18. I think a lot of people have a lot to say about this because of her young age, but she is the daughter of Travis Barker and his ex-wife Shanna Moakler, and she recently just said, like, I have this thing where I photograph so ugly, and people are like, "Oh my God, you're so fat and you're so ugly." Which, first of all, people are
Thank
rude
you.
and mean. Like, anyway, she has just admitted that she is on weight loss drugs, though. So she said, "I'm on a weight loss medication because I'm tired of being fat and photographing like a damn ogre," which I feel like is something that Zach would say. But she didn't name the drug she's on. A lot of people are really speaking out because she's only 18. But her mom last month revealed she's on Manjaro. Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
And
Manjaro.
she decided to, quote, eat the pain away when both of her parents died in 2023. So there's a lot of just people speaking out being like, you're 18 and you're using a weight loss drug. Like, your body's changing. What's that going to do for you? We don't know the long term effects and whatnot. So a lot of people are also just like, as a parent, would you allow your child to have a weight loss drug at such a young age?
I mean, it's weird because like I remember being that age and doing like the weight loss pills that those are really popular back in, the early 2000s,
Back
early
in the
2010s,
40s when you were alive?
back in the 40s.
Back in the
Um,
40s?
Whereas now, like those have been replaced. I think we've talked about it on this podcast before about how like the fad trends of before, like the early 2000s, the late 90s, the 2010s, like those fad diet trends are now essentially what we're using with Ozempic and Wegovy and Manjaro and semi-glutide, because some people are like, I'm not on Ozempic, I'm on semi-glutide. They like get offended if you say Ozempic when it's like it's all the same fucking shit. But so I think she is very young. And as somebody that's now in their 30s and that has overcome a number of, struggles with my weight and with, an eating disorder in the past, I am concerned for her because I remember being this age and taking diet pills and really restricting my diet and just not being healthy with my body. And I think the dangerous thing is, at least at that point, we knew that diet pills were technically bad. So teenagers shouldn't be using them in general. Whereas now I feel like we've gotten to this place where it's like, oh, well, Mounjaro or Ozempic, like these are things that are prescribed by a doctor, like they're medications. And my understanding is these are medications for people that either struggle with blood sugar instability, they're diabetic, they are struggling with obesity where their body just is not allowing them to easily lose weight. So they're using it to curb their appetite so that they're not gaining weight. Somebody at 18 years old, I feel
Right.
like a lot of people are saying, your body is still changing. Your body has not, it's different when you're like a 45-year-old mom that has 4 kids that has been struggling with your weight. You're now entering menopause or you're
Is
perimenopause
this
and
this
like
is
your
how you
body's
describe
going through
yourself to the
changes.
world, Zach? Like,
Yes, it's exactly how I describe
cool.
myself on Tinder.
Mm.
But so it's just very different for somebody that is very young, that has a fast active metabolism, that is likely not struggling with a debilitating obesity or blood sugar instability, that it concerns me that younger kids are now starting to get on these drugs when we really don't know the long-term effects of them.
Speaking of Tinder, I'm banned from Tinder. That's,
Are you? What did you do?
I mean, okay, so
You
one
sent
time I
a
put
dick pic.
quick, no, that's not how she runs, especially on Tinder. I don't think you can send photos on Tinder. Second of all, it was a quick little, what would happen if I put my Venmo handle in my bio and say, send me $1, your chances will go higher. Tinder thought that was not,
Solicitation.
it was other things. Someone actually sent me $1 and said that was the best bio I've seen in quite a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, I got $1 out of it, and now I'm lifetime banned.
You.
I've asked for them to be unban my profile and everything else. No, not gonna happen. But
Wow. A high
yeah,
class escort.
for $1, you can win all of this for $1.
A dollar makes me holla.
$1 makes me banned from Tinder. But also think about being 18. Back to this whole Alabama Barker situation. Thinking of yourself as an ogre at 18, like that was not me. She hopefully she
You
feels
didn't think of
better.
yourself as an ogre at 18?
I know.
I feel like that's when you hate yourself the most, is when you're like a teenager and there's
I
all
wouldn't
that
call
like
myself an
screaming.
ogre though. I was not
I
that.
mean, but I really was an ogre then.
You're different. You're
I
different. You're
really
an
did look
anomaly.
like an ogre. If you look at photos of me when I was like 17, 18, like before I started, like doing bad things to my body, like I actually did look like an ogre. But like it's sad that like our self-image is so tainted.
True. True. What's up with Britney? Speaking of other things that are
She's still dancing on the internet, living her best life. And the Osbournes on their podcast, the Osbournes, are not a fan of Britney's dancing. And Ozzy Osbourne called her very, very sad. And, Sharon Osbourne says that she's heartbroken for Britney because this isn't a good look for her and they're concerned. And Britney clapped back and she said, "It's Britney, bitch." First of all, she said she called them the most boring family ever.
oh my
And
god,
then
but
she
like
said that they can just kindly fuck off.
she posted this long like bit of whatever you want to call it, rant, information, like slides on slides. She loves to post and delete. To
Yeah.
also call the Osbournes the most boring family ever. They were relevant at one point. They were not boring. They were over the top.
They weren't
But
the most boring ever, just maybe the most boring currently.
I think honestly, the Osbournes didn't say something that's not new though. And I think
Yeah.
like this narrative of what people are saying about Britney of she may be free now. She still needs like some sort of help of trust behind the scenes of who to, actually entitled to or work with or in her day-to-day life like, be able to even have a conversation with. I think it's just that she's now starting to see all these clips from celebrities versus just people in the comments. And she's like, well, I can't speak down to fans or former fans, but like anybody who's at my stature or around in this celebrity status, she's probably going to keep clapping back at them.
No, I think she'll clap back at fans too. I think
You
she's just
think
in a
so?
place of like, yeah, I think she's just in a place of like, you want to talk shit, fuck around and find out. Like Britney's gone gangster. She's
Brittany
got
said,
knives.
Brittany said the knives are out
The
and
knives are out.
they're not in the upcoming installation of part 3. But I mean, I'm waiting for Sharon Osbourne to say something. If she was on The View still, she would say something about this
Talk.
situation. The Talk. I'm sorry. There's so many of them. There's so many. How can you keep track?
And like nobody really watches them, do they?
The
Is
Talk's
the
been
talk still
canceled.
on? I thought the
No,
talk got
it's been
canceled.
canceled.
I
Yeah.
thought the talk got canceled.
Well,
Didn't it recently get canceled? Yeah.
me
That's when
confusing them
Sharon
all. But I'm like,
Osbourne left. They fired Sharon Osbourne and then it went under. It went, whoop.
a lot of things happened before that exit. A lot of things happened. Shall we move on to some other stories, though?
Yes.
Well, obviously, welcome to the Pop Report. Besides the hot headlines, you know what to do. Keep on listening and subscribing. We've hit almost just short of 1,000 subscribers. So
Yeah,
it's
we're,
exciting. We're on a big milestone. But obviously,
what are
before we
we
get into
at?
the rest of the
7 something,
stories,
right?
7 something, whatever the girls call it.
7 and change.
I'm just calling it short.
722. So
Girls.
close. We're just
There
like
are-
a quarter of the way left.
There's a couple thousand of you listen. We're very grateful. Obviously, we love seeing you all interact on YouTube as well. When you all leave comments on YouTube too, like we get a chance to understand what you all want to hear, what you all want to see, also what we haven't covered, and just room for improvement. So obviously, keep on following along. But we have some other titles and things to talk about.
Yes, we
So
do.
I don't know if you've seen, but Megan Thee Stallion is doing good for the world. We're moving on to our music mayhem because we have two stories, very opposite. Kanye West being sued and Megan Thee Stallion doing good about the obvious like hurricane situation that's happening. But Megan, a lot of reports are being picked up right now about her foundation announcing an emergency power program for senior citizens. So good.
Oh.
Like she's giving back to her hometown of Houston as, you know, they are now recovering from Hurricane Beryl. So she announced that her and Pete and the Thomas Foundation are partnering with Bread of Life Inc. to launch an emergency power program for the senior citizens because what usually happens is in natural disasters, you lose power, you lose air conditioning and more. And so a lot of people who end up passing are like elderly, those who don't have financial stability to obviously like have others help aid them in this situation. But yeah, I mean, Hurricane Beryl, from what I'm seeing right here, it tore through the Gulf Coast and it killed 52 people. So it caused more than $6 billion in damage. So a lot of people are obviously trying to help out and overall just take care of the people. And so Megan, you know, she's like, look, like we want to do our part. We need to provide our elders with like resources. Like they, what are they going to do? Like they just lost everything. Some of them, they don't have like sometimes other siblings or other people to take care of them. She's like, I'm gonna show up.
I think it's great that she's helping all the old people. I mean, listen, I like Meg the Stallion. She's doing a little gobble me, swallow me, drip down the side of me for all the people in need. And I think it's like a Thanksgiving buffet, and she's, you know, serving everybody with her generous heart rather than her generous wop this time, though.
Oh, what a weird fun twist you just put on that. I mean, I
Would you
get it, but I'm
expect
also
anything
like,
less?
no. But I think she also needs like this. Speaking of, she's had some bad press. I think she has a lot that's yet to come out still about like that allegation from a former paparazzi or former photographer of her team. I think she's also trying to do good because she's from that area and she genuinely just means like
Yeah.
the best. So I'm hoping and pulling for her still on what is to come.
Yeah.
But Mr. Kanye West, on the other hand, I'm not pulling for this bitch. Kanye West has been sued for copyright infringement over unauthorized use of music on the Donda album.
Donda, 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 Donda,
Donda.
Donda, 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 Donda.
So-
Do you remember that song?
Girl, I don't like him.
That was one of the songs on his track. It was Donda, 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 Donda.
Girl, I don't
Donda,
like
Donda,
him.
Donda, Donda,
I'm just
Donda.
saying. That's all. So he's been struck with another lawsuit.
Yeah.
This time it's by DJ Khalil and 3 other artists.
DJ Khaled.
Not different but same. And 3 other artists for a pair of tracks off the 2021 album. The suit, which has been shared by Bloomberg Law, focuses on the songs Moon and Hurricane.
Those are
They
two
won.
of my favorites, actually.
You're like, I was waiting for you to say Hurricane. But
Hurricane.
the 4 musicians collaborated on some ideas in 2018, included them in the composer pack, and then made them available for potential buyers. West allegedly requested to approve to use the work for Hurricane, though the request was denied. So basically, they accused West of using the work regardless,
Yeah.
even though it was denied, and releasing the music and even crediting the musicians as songwriters and producers, quote, in an act of blatant bizarreness, which that's bizarre to me too. Like they're asking for a trial by jury. There's no like specific compensation to be included. The company is also pointing out that, you know, West made a lot of money. They claim that Hurricane and Moon at least earned $15 million.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like if someone says no, like you can't do it. Like you just,
Yeah, so I think my understanding is that they're suing him because he made money off of the tracks while using I think it's their like rhythmic foundation is how they described it. That they have like a certain way that they display certain music, and like he used a piece of that in those 2 songs. And they're saying that he credited them, but he didn't actually compensate
he didn't
them,
clear
and they wanted.
he didn't clear the music.
Yeah,
like,
he
for
wanted.
use.
Yeah, and now they're saying, well, you used the piece of our or our musical composition that like, we are entitled to royalties from these songs.
Basically, and they're not asking for like money, and
That's not, no, they are
this isn't
asking
the
for money.
first time.
No, they are
It's
asking for money.
it hasn't said like what well, they probably
They
are. It
haven't
hasn't
specified
said.
damages, but they are seeking damages. The damages will just be punitive damages because there are no technical losses. So they want the jury to determine what those damages shall be, which is standard. Like when you sue somebody, you don't always include a number because you're like, I'll let the jury decide. Like Ariana Madix, she just got slapped with 3 lawsuits and there are no specified damages, but these bitches are coming at her hard.
Yeah,
But
this
but I do like these 2 songs by Kanye. So Moon is the one you may remember this one because it was on TikTok, Andy.
okay.
It was the trend where it's like it cannot always be night.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, it cannot always be night and something until it's day, and then it's like you see the transformation in the people. But it was on. It
Well,
cannot always be
this
night.
isn't the first time he's been slapped with a lawsuit or a copyright suit. Even this year alone, because Donna Summer's estate basically settled with Kanye West for interpolating "I Feel Love" on Vulture's One. That track is still not available for streaming. And Ozzy Osbourne, coming back to earlier, he threatened the legal action for using a sample of Iron Man for another song.
Yeah.
So he's just like, I'm gonna do it till y'all say something.
Well, I feel like the hard part is, I mean, again, it depends on like what a rhythmic foundation is, because I know like this was also a point of topic with Blurred Lines. Remember Robin Thicke's song? He was sued over that because I forgot what song was related to it, but like I think at some point you do kind of pull influence from other songs or other
I think it was
styles of
Martin
beats.
Gaye, like the
Yeah,
Gaye
Marvin
estate
Gaye.
actually.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. And like, even though maybe it's not intended to be, I mean, with Kanye, I feel like it's a little bit different because he actually like credited them, so he knew that it was their work that he was technically taking, and was just like, well, I don't have your permission, but I'm going to credit you, and as long as I credit you, I should still be able to use it. I don't know. It's dumb. Like, just this case is dumb because it's not like the other one was a little bit different with the Donna Summers, because it's like it was influenced by, and sometimes you can like
Right. So there's interpolation and there's samples. So
Yeah.
direct sampling is like the complete lyrical composition
Yeah.
and its integrity.
Yeah.
And then there's interpolation, which is like taking stems of that. And so when you have interpolation and samples, you have to get approval from the artist
Yeah.
to do that. So an example of this recently is Whenever, Wherever. Ava Max covered that Shakira song.
Wherever Shakira. We're meant
So you have to
together.
give like a large percentage. Ariana Grande for Rodgers and
Yes.
Hammerstein for like 7 rings.
And-
She gave away, I think it was 70 or 80% of the song's entirety on the publishing or copyright side, because she doesn't own that, and all of the estate has to get that for the approval of the song. So she got such a small amount, basically doing it for free. In this case, Kanye's like, I want the money. It sounds like I want it all for myself.
I think she's thinking he don't care. I think
That
he's like,
too.
I don't give a shit. He's like, you're not gonna give me permission. Screw it. I'm gonna do it anyway. And he did.
He's like, I'm Kanye West. Like,
I
you're
was
gonna
just
give me
surprised
permission.
that those 2 songs did that well. I mean, I guess TikTok helped, but like still.
There's a big fan base of people who still love Kanye West even through everything. And like, anyway, that's a whole different other topic.
Yes, and say that
And?
shit with your chest. And, no, I was just thinking that because you said Ariana Grande, and I remember I just saw Paula Abdul recently, and she said that Ariana Grande had like paid homage to Paula Abdul in her Yes and music video, and so I was like, oh,
That tracks.
she got permission from Paula.
Paula said, what's that skincare brand? Paula, I don't know.
Proactive.
No, I was gonna say Prolapse. I was like, that's different. In other news of weird stories, I want to talk about this that's come up. It's not even like a weird story. It's just like a technicality question. So redacted. USPS, there's too many of them, shared customer postal addresses not only with Meta, but also with LinkedIn and Snap. So there is an investigation like going on through TechCrunch. And so basically USPS said it addressed the issue and stopped this practice, claiming that it was unaware that the postal addresses of its online customers were being shared with other media giants, which I think all of our information is going to be stolen anyway. At some point, like I've gotten hacked. I got hacked for my debit card the other week. That was stressful.
Really?
Yeah, I fell for a scam. They were like on the phone being like, "Sir, do you have your card? This charge has been pending. Is this you?" I'm like, after a while, it took me to realize the bank never calls you. But in this case, USPS collected data that included postal addresses of logged in USPS informed delivery customers who use the service to see photos of obviously incoming mail and packages and everything else, but it's not clear how many people had their information collected, but they had more than 62 million deliveries as of March of 2024, or 62 million users. So like, how do you mess up of like that being shared? Like, obviously you're going through on TikTok shop, or like you're going through on Instagram and you're buying through new whatever merchants on platform. You can now like input and say, look, like I want to buy this product, and use autofill from TikTok and Instagram and buy something through their shop.
Yeah.
And it comes through USPS. Yeah. So it's like, am I going to one day get a piece of mail from LinkedIn or like Meta and it be like, hey, gay, local Meta finds in your neighborhood? Because I get that from my grocery store, and that's weird. I think that's weird when you move in somewhere. They're like, here's your local deals from Ralph's. Here's your local deals from like Spectrum. And I'm like, why do you have my information?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, it's just getting weird.
It's scary how all like, it's like, I agree. Because then it feels like a little invasion of privacy.
But how do you not know, like, oops, accidentally collected that? It's like, there's a document.
Because it's not much of an oops.
It's not much of an oops. Like, it's never been an oops. No. You know where I live. Come knock on my door if you want me.
Come and knock on our door. We've been waiting for you. Wait, I do have a bit of like real-time breaking news.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear about Tom Sandoval suing Ariana Madix?
Si, senor.
So for people that most people already know, but to brief everybody, Ariana Madix was originally sued by Rachel Leviss, referencing back to Sandoval. She was with Tom Sandoval for 9 years. He was banging one of her good friends. She caught them after a 7-month affair. She found a naughty video on Tom Sandoval's phone. She checked his phone, found this naughty FaceTime video of Raquel rubbing her coochie. And she captured it on her phone, sent it to Rachel, and said, hey, bitch, you're caught, essentially. I'm paraphrasing.
TLDR. There you go. Good job.
And so that now, a year later, Rachel is suing Ariana for obtaining access to that video, claiming revenge porn. She's also suing Tom Sandoval, saying, you invaded my privacy and you were eavesdropping by recording this FaceTime without my knowledge. Tom Sandoval was announced yesterday it was announced on Tuesday or Wednesday morning. Tom Sandoval is now suing Ariana Madix, claiming she's the one that's actually at fault because she's the one that essentially broke into his phone and obtained access to this video that he did not give her permission to access. And
this is our legal debrief section. We're going right into it.
Yes, we're going right into it. And so headlines everywhere, Tom Sandoval sues Ariana Madix. When it first came out, I predicted two things. I said, one, I think that this was just bad advice from his counsel. I think his attorney encouraged him to do this, and he's not fully aware of what he's doing. And two, I don't think he's suing Ariana for money. He's just trying to absolve himself of any wrongdoing in the Rachel Leviss lawsuit. He's now just issued his statement. And I got some text messages in relation to his statement.
What do you mean some text messages?
We'll get to those. So Tom Sandoval just posted his statement. It says, last Tuesday afternoon, my attorney, Matt Garagos, whose advice I trusted, called me about the cross-complaint in the lawsuit against myself and Ariana. He assured me that the action was customary and strictly preventative in these types of lawsuits and urged me to agree to it. The words new lawsuit or suing were not articulated to me. I should have done more of my due diligence on the matter. Upon realizing what this action actually means, I've removed Matt Garagos from my legal team. In no way am I suing Ariana. The actions against Ariana brought on on my behalf is being removed. I hold no ill will or vindictiveness towards Ariana. Now, by removing both the cross complaint and the attorney who recommended it, I hope to get through this case quickly so that Ariana and I can both move on with our lives.
Wow.
So my prediction was one correct. Flex
Good
on
for
it.
chalk one up for you. Flex.
And then, before the complaint was posted on Instagram, I got a copy of it and I got the text message. He has no idea what cross complaint actually means. That's why I know for a fact that he would never sue Ariana because he hated Rachel for doing that.
Who's this text from?
An anonymous source.
Love.
I
Wow.
knew, it's kind of what I predicted. And I didn't think that he was actually like wanting to sue Ariana. It's crazy.
Correct. And this legal debrief also, if you look at the stature of where this stands, he recorded a FaceTime that she consented to sharing a video of herself. But the question of the debate is it up for recording to your device? And can you record without someone's knowledge in that? And that would probably be where he is going to be caught in this. Yeah. Also, she is going to get some probably, like, in my prediction, legal conviction of you sent this to someone without their.
Well, I'm curious what your thoughts are, because I'm very much involved in this case. Like, I've read about all of it and I know all the details of it. So she's suing him for invasion of privacy and eavesdropping. And his argument is, I didn't invade your privacy because this was something you consented to being on this FaceTime video with me. So therefore we were the two people that were in this veil of privacy.
Correct.
So
Correct.
I never shared this video with anybody else. Therefore, I did not invade your privacy because you knew you were on video being broadcast to me and this image was being shared with me. All I did was save it. But you did consent to giving me your image, essentially, by participating in this FaceTime. And then when it comes to eavesdropping, he technically wasn't eavesdropping because she was aware that he was on the other side of the FaceTime call.
But was she aware that he was recording?
No, but technically, the only way you are breaking the law if you are recording something without somebody's permission is if you actually, like, distribute it somewhere, because then otherwise you're not really invading their privacy, essentially. I mean, because if we were on a phone time call and I recorded you, but I didn't do anything with that, like, then is that technically illegal? I mean,
in the state of California, it is illegal to record someone without their permission. Correct. And that is going to be the big toss up of, was this technically distributed somewhere because someone did distribute it? So
someone obtained access to it, but that person, as he tried to explain in his lawsuit, that person, but also, like, he didn't intend for anybody to have access to it. And Ariana, when she did find it, she also wasn't under the impression that this was filmed without Rachel's consent. So she didn't know that.
The big toss up in my POV is distribution to yourself considered distribution? Well, if he is keeping it for his personal record, it's the big toss-up of, is this considered distributing a piece of content to other parties? And it's probably going to be yes. Like, even if you are keeping something, you are not allowed to record it for yourself. You're not allowed to do anything with that. And something was done with it, whether he meant it or not. So I think there will be legal implications of him holding a recording, because she did not know anything whatsoever of anything being recorded. She did not consent to it. Even if you watch that clip over and over and over again as yourself, you're distributing it to yourself.
Right.
So
she gave consent to distribute to him.
But did she, I mean, the real question is, like, if she's like, yeah, you can record this if you want, that's going to be the real thing. If he issues a statement at some point in a trial, it says, she told me I was allowed to record this for whatever spank bank and whatever thing for later. Case closed. Cool. But Ariana's case, if she is going to be put up next, she will probably get a charge of not revenge porn, but distribution.
He's withdrawing his complaint against Ariana, is what he just announced. But so Ariana's side of it, I'm curious to because I agree with you. It's dicey when it comes to invasion of privacy, because the images were never intended to be distributed to anybody else. Nobody else was ever supposed to see it. It was only supposed to be between the two of them, and that's his argument, that, like, it remained between she and I, so nobody else, because when you sue somebody for like wiretapping your phone or recording you without your permission, there's usually a result to it, right? Like they leaked it to the press or they got it out somewhere. But when it comes to Ariana, Rachel's suing her for revenge porn. And so when it comes to revenge porn, she's saying that Ariana took the video off of, I believe she had Tom's phone, she recorded it and then sent it to Rachel, like, I caught you. And so now they're claiming that Ariana sending it to herself and then sending a copy to Rachel is therefore revenge porn because there was distribution.
It has to be considered distribution if it's also other parties than the one who consented to it.
Right.
So that's the part where it's really dicey. Part two is, like Ariana also claims she never saw the video. She never had it, but she recorded it. Like
she recorded a copy of it on her phone. So she had Tom's phone, and my understanding is she was filming it. She was filming Tom's phone of like, look at what I found. Here's his phone. Look at what I found on his phone, and then sent that to Rachel. And then her claim is that after that, when Tom became aware that she did this, Tom then grabbed her phone, took it from her, and deleted the videos. And she said that she provided evidence over to Rachel's attorney, proving that the video had been discarded and she was no longer in possession of the video last year.
I think you can't call it revenge porn if it's distributed to yourself.
Right, because the point is there has to be, one, a revenge element. Like, you have to be using it with the intention of seeking revenge, and there has to be some sort of malice. And two, when it comes to distribution, the revenge porn cases that we've seen in the past are only specific to distribution to other people. Now, Rachel is claiming that Ariana possibly showed this to other people because in her complaint,
she said she never did. She said, nothing ever happened.
So they would have to prove that in some sort of like cell phone metadata, or they have to have someone claim, yes, I have evidence that I received the video.
I don't think she'll win on an invasion of privacy. So we already talked about the revenge porn case issue. The invasion of privacy, it would be different if Tom filed that against Ariana. He would win that.
That's what he did. That was his latest filing, was in invasion of privacy against Ariana.
If he kept that, he would have won. Ariana going through his phone.
Yeah.
But Rachel
here's the other thing. Ariana's argument, is it invasion of privacy? This is the other part of the argument. Ariana's arguing that it was an invasion of privacy because he gave her access to his phone. He gave her the passcode to his phone for her to check at any point. So was she really violating his privacy if she had the passcode to his phone and they were under the agreement that they were allowed to check each other's phones?
They would have to go through and say, what are the habitual chances that you are checking each other's phones on that agreement? Yeah. And if this falls into a repeated pattern of a yes, they had consent when X occasion, this occasion, Y occasion, then they'll say it was not invasion of privacy. If it was a continuous habitual situation, then yes. If they said, have you continuously gone through this person's phone camera roll and you had done that with that person's knowledge multiple times, then it should be fine. If there was you had access to my phone to do X, Y, and Z, then it's different. So there is an invasion of privacy. If I said, Zack, you can have the keys to my house, you're allowed to come to my house on Mondays. And if you came to my house on Wednesdays, then it's different. There's certain permissions attached to it, if and yes or no. And so they're going to have to go through every single habit the two of them did. And it's going to be
because he just announced he's dropping that part of the lawsuit.
But Rachel, she's going to try to still stick to her gun.
She's going after Tom for invasion of privacy.
And he's going to have to go through every habit he has had with Ariana again on the phone to prove that these claims that she has are refuted. That's the shitty part. So it doesn't matter who filed it. They're going to have to relive this all over again.
Yeah.
What a fun legal debrief. Look at us.
The trial isn't even set until November 2025.
Do you have a prediction of Rachel Leviss dropping her suit? Because I think Rachel will drop her suit.
I think so too. But I think she's waiting for Tom to settle with her. Once Tom settles, she'll think it's sufficient enough for her to drop the Ariana piece of it.
Oof. So I think
he's going to have to settle. I don't know if he has a strong case against her.
I don't know. I think it's going to be dicey.
What I always tell people is there's a difference between what's, like culpability and morality. Like just because we think that it's wrong or it feels wrong or morally corrupt in some way doesn't mean that it's necessarily illegal, you know?
Right. Right.
And so
It's
it
like
has to be defined under, the criteria of the law. And that's not always, if the glove doesn't fit, it quit.
quit, hit it and quit it. Um, Speaking of quitting it, let's quit this topic.
Yes.
And you're going to lead our watch or skip because you have a couple things that you have in mind of things that we should be keeping our informed eyes on.
Well, first up, we have we have a new Beetlejuice trailer that has just dropped for Beetlejuice, which is the sequel that gives us a little more context. So it doesn't look like Alec Baldwin's character is going to be returning because I believe the original film centered around his character and his wife, but I think that it's unclear what the exact plot point is going to be for the sequel. But
Still
we
have no
do,
idea.
yeah, we still have Catherine O'Hara, we have Jenna Ortega, and we have why is her name blanking? Stranger Things mom. It's,
Winona Ryder.
yes, I kept wanting to say Salma Blair, and I'm like, that's not right. Winona
I was
Ryder.
like, you can get this, baby girl. You can get
No,
this,
my
baby
brain
girl.
was saying Salma Blair, and I'm like, that's not right. Don't say that. That's not right. But so they're back, but now we see that like we have a lot more of the campy versions. We see Catherine O'Hara and Jenna Ortega dancing together. But I mean, it looks good. I'm excited for the sequel. I don't remember much about the original because I haven't seen it in so long. But Beetlejuice has certainly aged in the last
I
30
mean,
years.
again, I said this before. I'll give it a watch because like it's a classic.
Did you watch the original?
Yeah, I did.
And you remember the original?
I can't remember too much of it. Like
I remember, yeah.
I'm
It's
not
been
a
so
watch
long
like
since I've seen it.
people who watch movies twice. I'm sorry, get over it. Like I
I
don't
mean,
do
I'm
that.
sure I've seen it like 3 times and I still don't remember it.
You know, I have to take a couple years in between. And people who I know who are like, let's watch Inside Out 2 again. I'm like, you just watched that last week. You want to watch that again? Again?
Did you watch Inside Out too?
I did. I didn't
Was it
cry. I thought the first one was better.
great? Now I'm very excited to go watch it. But anyway, it comes out this fall. And then we also have Paris and Nicole. So they've been teasing this big Simple Life something.
Teaser.
Now, yeah. So now it was originally reported that it wasn't going to be a reboot, but that they were going to be coming back together. And now it appears it's going to be some sort of like reunion special where they reflect on 20 years since The Simple Life premiered. And so they're like putting a call out for fans to send in videos if they were a fan of the show. We've seen them together. I believe they've already begun filming it because they started posting videos and photos of them together, saying that they're very excited to bring this reunion special. I think it's going to be kind of dumb.
I think you need to give the people what they want and give them another Simple Life installment.
Yeah, that's all. Even if
That's
it's
all
like
we're asking.
3 episodes, 4 episodes, like even if it's like, when they redid the revival for Gilmore Girls and they did like 4 specials on that, like 4 episode specials on Netflix, like even if it's something like that,
Give me like
they're not
Paris
friends,
goes to
right?
tech school. Like
Yeah,
Paris
it's not
does
Friends.
this.
Like when Friends did the HBO Max reunion, that was different because it's like it's been so many years since Friends, and Friends was such an iconic television show that The Simple Life was a moment in pop culture, but it's not something we have like a reunion and discuss in depth about. I don't even know what. Like, yeah, we wanted to watch the Friends reunion because it's like we got the dynamics of what
Did
the
we?
cast were like behind the scenes. I enjoyed it. I mean, it could have been better, but I enjoyed it. It was nostalgic and it was a retrospect and a way for the cast to look back for fans that really enjoyed the show, especially because people still watch Friends all the time. The Simple Life doesn't have that same level of, iconic television that like nobody watches The Simple Life currently.
I can't tell you the last time I watched a Simple Life episode. Like
Not since it aired like 20 years ago.
No. Like
15 years ago. I remember when it even moved to E. That's when I really watched it.
yeah, I think a lot of people watch things and they moved to E and then they left. E just kind of flopped.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to watch it, but I'm not that excited about it. I'm kind of, the more I learn about the special, the more I'm leaning towards skip.
I know. It's kind of sad because we were like so excited and I'm like,
Yeah.
we get Freaky
Because
Friday and this. No, we get just Freaky Friday.
Well, we also get Beetlejuice.
Well, it's different era. Like I was talking about 2000s like revivals, like we would be getting some fun things, but I guess not. Like,
Wasn't
anyway,
there another show that we just talked about that they were considering reboot? Oh, Devil Wears Prada. Can't wait for that.
can't wait for that.
Very
If it's
excited.
flop, then I'll be sad. In other news, I want to talk about some general news, like just of TV personalities and more. Kim Kardashian just came out saying that she's going to be very fearful that she's going to be very robotic because she's traumatized still from her 2016 incident of the robbery, which completely just and understanding so. But she's trying to practice calmness in her life, and she's afraid that she's just kind of going to be on like autopilot. So she came out with that. Kate Hudson also is coming back and doing more press interviews and like more discussions since releasing music, and she was on Watch What Happens Live. I
I
saw that
mean,
clip.
it's funny that she's like doing music and like performing at bars. Like I saw she like had she like performed at some, I think it was like in Malibu at a bar, and Gwyneth Paltrow was there just like chilling in the background to like
As you should.
it was so random. Wait, did you hear about the story about the guy shitting the bed at Gwyneth Paltrow's house?
No.
How did you not hear about this? Oh my God, Andy.
When did this happen?
This was like a week or two ago, and I meant to put it in our notes, and I kept forgetting. But so,
We'll get
do you
back
know?
to Kate Hudson. I want to talk about this poop story.
Well, yeah, because it went on to Gwyneth Paltrow. I mean, all there is about Kate Hudson is she's promoting her new music, and then she was on Watch What Happens Live and said that she doesn't wear deodorant, and Matthew McConaughey doesn't wear deodorant, and they just have their pits
And you
out
know
all
what?
together.
Don't yuck someone's yum. Someone might like that.
Um,
Pits for days.
Pits for days. There you
Pits
go
for the
for
girls.
the
Pits for Kate
OnlyFans.
Hudson. Pits
There we
for
go.
Matthew McConaughey. Pits
Sniff,
for
sniff,
Zach Peter.
sniff, sniff. There we go for the Instagram.
Nope, don't screenshot that. Don't let that happen.
Um,
So
where
who
was
shit
I?
the bed?
Okay, so there was this story that came out, and it was very ambiguous at first. It said celebrity poops the bed at Gwyneth Paltrow's Hamptons home. Okay,
Height.
only to find out it's this guy Derek Blasberg. Do you know him?
Why does that name sound familiar?
He's really good friends with Derek. Here, let me show you a photo. Derek Blass.
I can look her up. I'm on my computadora.
Yeah. So he was recently. Well, it looks like he's back in the Hamptons, or no, he's in.
Oh, him.
Yeah. So Derek, cutie, right? He is good friends with Gwyneth Paltrow. He was, I guess, staying at her place, and because he's on like an Ozempic, like one of those, I don't know if it's Ozempic or semaglutide or whatever it was, but I guess one of the side effects is that you have diarrhea, and so he ended up getting diarrhea in the guest room bed, and
And
then
he fled the scene.
yes. And so the story came out that he had diarrhea and it got all over the bed. And he has not come out to deny the story. Gwyneth Paltrow has not come out to deny the story. But like, how do you shit the bed?
How
in
do you shit
someone
the bed
else's
and
house?
flee the
And how do you
scene?
flee the scene? And how did this leak in? You know, there was
You want to hear?
someone.
You want to know how it leaked? Because there's a little trail after. I'm kidding. That's really
Yeah.
that's not a good joke. I'm seeing this article headline, and it's like their friendship could not be like saved. People wonder if they're gonna really have a relationship. I mean, if you poop my bed and you flee the
Do you
scene,
think it was sex related? Because things can get messy.
I don't know. Like that's
It would at least be a little better than like, oh, he just had uncontrollable diarrhea and it got all over the bed, and then he just left. I listen. If this ever, God forbid, it's never happened to me, but if this were to ever happen to me, where I shit somebody else's bed, I would get all of the sheets and I would dispose of them. Nobody's ever gonna know. Nobody's ever going to know.
There's a source that said, quote, she thought that it was horrifying at first, but has since found the humor in it and has a good laugh about it. I mean, I find it funny, but also like, I don't want to know. Just be like, clean it. Let's move on.
That's where I said, don't tell anybody. Just get rid of the sheets. If anybody asks any questions, I owe you new sheets, and just leave it at that. I'm not
You
gonna.
know, maybe it was a drunken night. Like I've had someone come back to my apartment and in the middle of the night, like just starts hissing under my dining room table. Like didn't know this till the next morning when I was like, huh, why is there a puddle under my dining room table? Thank God there's no carpet there. And then there was a pair of jeans and we're like, oh, It's okay. Like nothing's ruined, but like when you get drunk, okay, cool. Like learn that you are a serial pisser. Like it's
I
fine.
don't think that that's okay. The fact that you're like, it's okay. It's like, no, that's actually not
I mean, the last
okay.
thing you want to do is like make someone feel bad. In this situation, my person did not flee and he was
Yeah.
embarrassed. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. Nothing's ruined. Like it's a funny
Yeah.
story now. Like whatever.
How did you clean up his pee?
I
You cleaned
didn't.
it up or you made him clean it up?
Girl piss. Girl so confusing. You think I'm gonna clean that up?
No.
No. But
What would you
Gwyneth
do if
Paltrow
somebody
poop.
shit your sheets and then
This
fled the scene?
this is an Amber Heard. Like
That's what I
this
thought.
is.
It was an Amber Heard situation.
I know. I was like revenge, like on Gwyneth. Well, anyway, to round out our last bit of this episode, since we're a little longer than usual, we attended the Emmys nominations brunch with Threads.
Yes.
We had some interesting thoughts. There were not a lot of YouTubers who were hoping to get a nomination, like Chicken Shop Date, Good Mythical Morning, Hot Ones. I thought Hot Ones would have gotten a nomination because they've been pulling out some good ones in the past year. But
And weren't they nominated for something recently?
it's like best like variety show. They were hoping like to
Yeah.
get like a nom for like on the Emmys, but there has been past like digital series that have been nominated in 2013. Like Hank Green got a nomination for his series, but even the place I work at like was Emmy nominated, like as you know, best news. So it's really people are upset that there should be these powerhouse digital stars or entertainers that are their own studios and they produce so much content. People were really upset. There were also some firsts. Selena Gomez got her nomination.
Gotta keep an eye out for
Sofia Vergara got her
Selena.
nomination. Yes, yes to that. Sofia Vergara got her nomination.
Yeah, which was great because she's the first Latin woman to ever get an Emmy nomination for lead actress.
Isn't that
Crazy.
wild? Like that we haven't still gotten that.
Put some respect on my people's names.
There's also Kristen Wiig getting nominated, Io Adebiri, Quinta Brunson, like some great women talent who are getting their noms and getting their flowers.
Nom nom.
But I'm interested to see the Emmys. I'll be watching. I hope to see like something good come out of this year's Emmys.
What did you think of The Bear getting the most nominations this year? I think they beat like 30 Rock, I think 30 Rock had like the most is like 25, and then didn't The Bear
It's a
get
very
like 30?
I was gonna start putting it on tonight to catch up with you on season 3, but like is it nomination for season 2 or season 3?
It must be for season 2 because season 3 just came out.
Yeah,
I
season
think
3.
the cutoff is like in the fall, like of when it has
Yeah,
to
because this
air.
Emmys is a little later than it usually is, but I think season 2 is really well done. I think it captivated and like how they wanted to transform the restaurant. They did a great job with storytelling, great job with acting. I think because it is a high stress environment that it really brings out a lot of good emotions from the actors of like the storytelling. So it's really hard to emote scenes like that. There's a one-shot scene of like the dinner with Jamie Lee Curtis. Like
Yeah.
there's so many like, wow, they pulled this off type of moments.
Yeah. I
So,
don't know
yeah,
if
I
season
don't know.
3 will. Season 3 didn't get the same reception that the first 2 seasons got, critically or from the audience. I mean, I wouldn't say season 3 was my favorite. It had moments. It wasn't, I will say, it wasn't as bad as people were saying that it was, but it is really slow. There isn't a whole lot of story. It's not terrible, though.
Tight. Well, I think that concludes this episode. We'll be looking out for Emmys and more, and maybe you'll see more of Zach and I. I'm going to RuPaul's Drag Race DragCon, so I'll
I
keep
am
you
not
updated on
going
what.
to that. I declined.
Do you want to come?
No, I said no. Okay, how I explained this is like nothing against it, but one, I have never watched RuPaul.
Drew Barrymore's
I've
Drag
never
Race.
watched RuPaul. And two, like it would just be like when my manager was like, "Oh, I'm, getting you to go to DragCon." I was like, that would be like sending me to NASCAR Con. It's just such a foreign world to me that like I could go and have fun. I go, but I
Would you?
literally like wouldn't know who to ask or what to like. I wouldn't know anything because I was going to go to like interview people and I was like, I literally would not know anyone.
That's fine. That's why I brought my lesbian friend last year, and she helped me navigate. Because there's so many queens. There's like 250 plus, and I'm like,
But I like
I
to
know
know who
80.
people are. Yeah, like I like to know. But listen, I didn't even go to BravoCon. I'm like, listen, pay me and I'll go to a con. But you're not going to con
I
me
will
out of
con. I will Jen Shaw con.
yeah, all
Well,
the elderly.
what a great episode. Obviously, keep up to date. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please. Please. And obviously, we'll see you soon. And some more surprises will be coming in the future.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.